This is Dr. Rosie Kuhn, and this podcast series is called Spiritual Immersion, Taking the Plunge. And the intention of these podcasts, this series, is to support and empower you to look at who you are inside this human spirit, body, being of all multidimensionals, parallel universes, all of it. And even just some of it would be a really cool thing. My experience personally is part of what brings these to you, as well as my work as a spiritual guide and transformational coach. So my experience with myself personally and professionally with other people is what I'm sharing with you through these podcasts. In the previous podcast, previous podcast, I talk about making amends with yourself and other people for justifying your actions of righteousness over your agreements to care for yourself and other people and honor yourself and other people. And in the 12-step program, one of the steps is we become clear that we have betrayed ourselves and others. These are my words, not the words of the 12-step, but we've come to see how we've been out of alignment with ourselves and other people. We've not honoring the agreements that we said we would make, and we've hurt people and we've hurt ourselves. And so one of the steps is to come to know that, hey, I have been out of alignment. I have been hurting people, and I've been hurting myself by my actions and my thoughts and my feelings. And so then the next step is I make amends. I go to those people and to myself and say, I was wrong and I am sorry. Please forgive me. And this is a big deal. It's a big deal because you're saying, hey, I was self-justifying. I was justifying my actions as if I had the right to do that over your well-being and over you. And that's a bad thing. That's not a good thing to do. And I'm sorry. Please forgive me. So once that's done, you'd think you could just kind of go, yeah, we're done with that. All good. But what it does is it stirs up lots of perhaps lifetimes or parallel universe times or ancestral times or collective unconscious times where we admitted that we were wrong and probably got punished or got killed or got mutilated or got something that wasn't good. People left us. We were alone. We were isolated. We were rejected. We were out. That's my dog, Gracie. She barks from time to time. That's just what she does. So coming to a place of admitting that you're out of alignment and then making amends to those people that says, I'm sorry, I was wrong, and I truly will not do that anymore. That's really great. And like many other times in our life when we do something right, it doesn't necessarily have us feel great inside. In fact, sometimes it just stirs up a lot of stuff, like I said, from past lives or from earlier this life, where it just feels yucky. It feels yucky. You might feel alone. You might feel isolated. You might feel sad. You might feel all kinds of things, grief, depression. It's not uncommon for people to feel what got stirred up by this responsible activity of admitting I'm wrong and then admitting it to a person that you harmed, to say, I was wrong. So it's not uncommon to feel the discomfort of that, and then to want support from other people to be there for you in ways that maybe they're not. This is one of the reasons why so many 12-step programs have a sponsorship. A lot of fellowships allow you or bring to you the opportunity to have a sponsor, so you can talk about these things with that person. That sponsor has had experiences, so they understand, first of all, to admit you're wrong, your wrongdoings, big deal. Then to admit it to another person, really big deal. And then to live with yourself in this experience of the undoing of that dynamic, big deal. So You're going to feel grief. You're going to feel depressed. You're going to feel angry. You're going to feel alone. You're going to feel rejected. You're going to feel all kinds of human things, emotions, and states of being that just don't make sense, including insanity. The insanity of, why don't I feel better? Why am I feeling this way? Why am I getting more upset about other things that really don't matter? A lot of questions come up. But this is part of the healing process, that part of the detoxing process, part of the purging of old patternings, the dynamics not only of actions and thoughts and feelings, but the energetics of that are the source of those activities. This is really hard for us to understand, and a lot of people will go to therapy because there's a need for support, but there's nothing wrong. This is just part of the evolution of you letting go of what no longer works, what no longer is in alignment with your knowing and your highest truth and what you're wanting for yourself, and bringing your highest contribution to the world. It's not in alignment with that. And that's what this is about, is getting into alignment with that. And that means cleaning house and clearing the clutter and clearing the vibrational resonance of those old patterns that aren't part of your life anymore. And we really love to have, we make the right choice. We make the right, okay, I'm going to talk to Martha about that I hurt her, and I'm going to tell her I'm sorry, and then I'll feel better. Well, quite often we don't feel better. We feel bad because the truth of our experience is so much deeper than just, I hurt you, Martha, and I'm sorry. It's a vibrational resonance that sometimes is very, 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 very old. Lifetimes in parallel universes, multidimensional aspects of ourselves. And we don't take into account these multidimensional aspects of ourselves, but it's all part of the resonance of who we are as a vibrational being. And all of it starts to dissipate vibrationally. And as we do that, we will feel better. We will feel content and peaceful and serenity. We will feel harmony and peaceful. But we have to go through this challenging time of owning what's true, acknowledging what's true, and perhaps publicly, as in saying to Martha, hey, I'm really sorry. Please forgive me. I know that what I did was harmful. And then there's the residue of that, and the residue of what's been there for a long, long time, probably, that has allowed this pattern to be here as long as it has. So our job in this spiritual immersion process is to be conscious of how we're choosing to make our choices, seeing the self-righteous, the self-justifying, the ego part that says, it's okay for me. But even though I agreed or made, even though I'm hurting somebody else, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And watching those patterns, and then at some point going, I can't do that anymore. I can't do it anymore. It was okay up till yesterday, and now it's not okay. It's like, great. It's awesome that you got to a place where it's not okay anymore. And now you admit it to yourself, and then you admit it to somebody else. And again, this is a good thing about having a sponsor or a coach or someone, a minister, someone that you can say, hey, this is wrong, and completely admit it. And that's one of the benefits of, in the Catholic Church, there's confessionals where you go in and you share with a priest, hey, I was wrong, and I'm sorry, please forgive me. So the point of this particular podcast is to say, hey, it's one thing to admit and apologize, and it's another thing to feel the residuals of that it's not just going to go away because you said I'm sorry and you truly mean it. There's some residuals there that will come up in all different kinds of experiences. Like I said, depression, sadness. I shared in the previous podcast about having to admit that I was wrong about my self-justifying actions. And I feel alone. I feel really alone. And there's nothing around me that indicates that I'm alone. I've got friends and everything like that, but there's this part of me that's feeling very alone. And it's part of the residuals of my patternings, part of the residuals of what's showing up because I'm letting go of patterns that no longer work, a self-justifying, self-righteous perspective. Gets to a point where it doesn't work anymore. And so what's underlying that is, oh, here's this. Okay. It's not, and there's a part of me that wants to reach out to my daughter or to my friends or to somebody to say, hey, here's what's going on. But the truth is I'm not alone. I'm with me. And I've got all kinds of people and beings, energy beings and angels around me, light beings that are with me. I'm not alone. But that part of me, some past life or some aspect of me that says, no, I feel really alone. I do feel alone, but that doesn't mean I am alone. Or I do feel depressed. That doesn't mean I am depressed. I do feel grief. I do feel anger. I do feel those things. And to allow them and acknowledge their presence without making me wrong or making them wrong or finding another way of distracting myself from what I'm feeling right now. But being able to say, I feel alone, but I'm not alone. I'm not alone. And to own that is very good. It's still, the residuals are there. The debris is there. It's cleaning itself out. I just have to be present and not be reactive and be with the discomfort, like I just said, in ways that are good. I go down to the water and sit by the beach, on the beach, or do some painting or some knitting or some walking or some gardening, whatever is good for my soul, even though right now my soul's kind of hurting. So that's pretty much it for today. Excuse me. If you'd like to leave me a message or email me with some feedback or questions, my email address is rosie@theparadigmshifts.com. My website, theparadigmshifts.com, is a place where you can find blogs, videos, and books and other information about coaching with me and or training with me as a coach. All right, big hugs to you. Bye for now.